Hello and welcome to a preview about an upcoming ship, and this time about the Tier 9 premium pan-European destroyer. I think that's right, I guess. The Friesland. I will share my thoughts about it. I will tell you what is so special about it and so on and so on. So first of all, maybe you noticed this destroyer doesn't have any torpedoes. That's the most significant change that you have compared to other destroyers. On top, it has only a 2 turret armament layout, but oh boy, if these turrets start to fire, that's pretty nasty, because you have a rate of fire with reload module of 1.5 seconds for each shell. So the thing is just rapidly firing. You're also equipped with defensive AA, hydroacoustic search, and of course smoke. The thing is, or it's supposed to be a strong anti-air ship, and that's definitely the case. You don't have any issues shooting down any planes in this thing. And even tier 10s, you just shred their squads. If you wait until they are in range and then let them lure them 1 kilometer or 1.5 kilometer, and then you activate the defensive AA button, these squadrons will just melt. Normally the CV will lose them immediately. The hydroacoustic search has 5 kilometer range. That can be really useful because you have a pretty shit concealment of 6.4 kilometer. And I honestly hope that Wargaming is buffing the concealment a bit on this thing, like make it 6 kilometer, 6.1 or so, but 6.4 is just atrocious. You see, I'm always getting the last shot in, because the enemy is always outspotting me. There's no destroyer on this tier that has, except for the Russian gunboat destroyer, which have heal, smoke, speed to compensate for it, such bad concealment. Alright, this Fletcher is absolutely unaware what is going to happen, so I'm smoking up here. And my plan is to hammer him. He's in my hydro range, so you basically play it here as if you would play a German destroyer. Repairing now to reverse behind the island. Might be a close call, because Fletcher torpedoes aren't that slow, but should be fine. The zooming out is probably a thing I should abandon in this case. I mean, 1.5 seconds reload. But I think I just want to do make sure that I dodge these torpedoes. And yeah, poor Fletcher dies. He thought, I mean, he could have bailed and survived, but he decided, no, I'm rather dying. So, yeah, that's first destroyer out. I can tell you so much. If this ship goes live like it is, the people will get, or will be aware of your hydro range. I mean, it's a test ship. Many people don't know it. That's why they make, obviously, mistakes by taking it on when they shouldn't. So, but when it gets released like this on the live server, I can imagine that people will exploit this 6.4 kilometer detection range pretty heavily, and then this ship gets really trouble. The problem for it is that you can't play it in the open like a gunboat DD. You can sit behind islands, of course, and use it, but then who's spotting for your team, right? So this usually maybe battleships, but if they also hide, who's going to deal damage? And the problem is there are sometimes games where you just simply need torpedoes, and the Friesland can't make use of them because it doesn't have one, and that of course makes it really vulnerable. Also, smart DD players that know like duration of the hydroacoustic search will just charge into the smoke or just launch the torpedoes and then just surprise attack a Friesland if he's not aware. Of course, you have to be aware if you attack a ship like this that you can at least put the DPM on it or something like that, or the Friesland is already a bit crippled or so, because 1.5 kilometer 1.5 seconds reload without adrenaline rush, so it can get even lower, will just murder enemy destroyers. Your HP pool with 20,750 without a heal is not that massive, but I think I can live with it. My biggest critics is just the concealment. Concealment is just not competitive at all. And I think Wargaming didn't make their mind up what is this ship supposed to play for a role. And it's actually not playing any role right now. It's like just an HE spammer. So, but then for HE spamming, you have already cruisers and so on and so on. I mean, it's nice to have it or have the possibility of doing so, but you abuse your team for spotting. That's naturally a thing that you usually don't want to do in a destroyer. I mean, of course, you can do it whenever the enemy destroyers are dead, then of course, but because then nothing can outspot your ships anyways, and then you have the freedom. But first you want to kill the destroyers, and therefore I'm a big fan of making the ship like a kind of destroyer hunter, because that would make really sense in my opinion. Yeah, and here we see this problem. My team is hesitate, understandably, to push in. So I don't have vision. So I need vision to deal damage. And if your team plays passive, of course, if the enemy is pushing into you with all the ships and so on, you just smoke up and daka 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 daka, and you just murder ships, absolutely. But if that's not the case, well, then how do you damage? I mean, playing it in the open, yeah, you can do it sometimes, taking pot shots, but you want to let this constant DPM rain down on the enemy. And sometimes I find it hard to achieve, somehow, for me, at least, in the games. This is probably my best game, damage-wise. Also, I think I played it how it should be played. I mean, we have no carriers here in this game. So, but I guess the trick behind it is, yeah, just try to abuse your teammates and deal damage. That's basically it. Kill, of course, destroyers. That's also very helpful. And yeah, then you should be fine, I guess. I mean, if you can bring this DPM to bear, it's no joke. I mean, you have only 120mm guns. Even with IFHE, we'll pen only 25mm, so that's not too impressive. So I tried it with IFHE, but the results were just mediocre, because you can just penetrate some bow and stern sections of cruisers up to tier 10, and battleships only tier 7 ones, because from tier 8 on they have 32mm. So that's out of the window as well. And therefore, yeah, not that easy. But the smoke is an American smoke. Yeah, it's an okay solution in my opinion. But honestly, if you don't run Superintendent, you're running out of smokes pretty easily. So I already used 2 smokes. And yeah, I have 1/3 left. So I need to put it wisely. What I like more to see is maybe, since this is a boat that is only depending on the guns, and only 2 guns. So imagine what happens if one of your guns gets destroyed. Don't think about it. But you cut your DPM in half and you're practically useless. And you can't even outspot anything. It's just like, there are so many situations I can imagine where this becomes really an issue. But yeah, nevertheless. So what was the plan? What was my goal to tell you here? No, I'm fucking sorry for that. I missed the point. Oh yeah, about the smokes. So what I like to propose and will propose in the preview about this, and also send it over to Wargaming, is maybe use German smoke duration with a cooldown in between the smokes and the number of smokes, like the Royal Navy destroyers. So, Royal Navy destroyers have usually the shortest duration smoke, sure. But if you like prolong it to German smoke, that it doesn't last too long, or you find even the spot between that, and so you make it available that even if I sit like a full duration in the smoke, I have it available like right after it. That would be a great solution for mine. And let's say you have, with premium consumables, 5 smokes available. With superintendent, maybe 6. So that would like absolutely guarantee that you don't run out of smokes and can always use your guns and potentially hammer the enemies. Because that's, as I said, you don't have you don't have torpedoes, so you can't sail around in the open and do anything. Because otherwise, it's going to be absolutely garbage. Because as soon as you get focused, you have to stop firing, and you will be useless. And yeah, it's not as if this ship is superbly agile or something like that. So gunboating in the open is also not like super attractive. So that would be my solution. About the smokes, the concealment, and then this ship would be absolutely great. Of course, it has to be adjusted if it's getting too overpowered. Maybe it does, I don't know. But we are still in the testing, so I would like to see that Wargaming is trying to implement this. Also, my Hydro is running out, so maybe give it an extra charge of Hydro, but that's just like proposals. I will pass over to Wargaming and let's see what they are doing. Maybe we get a majority of CCs backing this up, because I mean, now I'm running out of my last smoke. Yeah, that was, by the way, a fail by our Soyuz. He thought he could eliminate him, but yeah, he obviously didn't. So Cossack is close, outspots me for almost 900 meters. It's great, so he always gets the first shot. But he went so close that I can use my DPM. He, of course, can always disengage if necessary. And he has torpedoes on top. But yeah, as I said, this thing is not really, yeah, not a joke to deal with in a destroyer. So if you're full HP in a Friesland, I think no destroyer with some sanity will touch you. That's for sure. All right, to the game, I think we like wrecked this flank here pretty nicely. I set like a huge amount of fires. I mean, the stock fire chance is 9%. This is pretty good, but it also needs it. Otherwise, it's crazy. I mean, plus minus 1%, it's okay to do it with, for balancing reasons, but it needs a high fire chance to be effective, because you can't pen much. So you rely mainly on your fires that you are setting. Okay, so here I'm trying to protect this cap. And the Cossack is close. I'm anyway spotted, so we'll open up on the Friedrich, get behind the island, so I'm isolating myself only to shoot against the Cossack, which happened. Don't want to run in the Cossack Hydro though, so I'm turning around, going wide, turning my guns. Turret reverse is also pretty good on this ship, but that are all like additions that it needs. It's all built around these guns, so you need to like make these guns as powerful as you can to compensate for the lack of torpedoes. So yeah, I'm just patiently waiting. I mean, Cossack outspots me all the time, so and I have to. At this point, I think I realized, oops, I need to play careful. I thought about like YOLOing in or so, but this game is still on the edge. And I mean, we have a significant point lead, but you know how quickly it can be over. So that Cossack did the worst thing he could do. He goes in versus me again without any support. That now he switches to AP for whatever reasons. Yeah, basically he has no clue what he's doing. Sadly, because Cossack is such a strong destroyer. Yeah, and then there's the Friedrich. So and I can't do much against the Friedrich. He has Hydro, I don't have smoke, so the only thing I can do is just bail over distance and reset him. But honestly, with mana at 63 points, I'm a bit lazy. So I can bring my HP in, and I think we won't lose this anymore. And then just Daka a bit and nothing else. Maybe provide some spotting for my Atago here. But I think this should be in the bag. Well, I know it's in the bag. I mean, what will the enemy do? They have to block all the caps if... interesting, there's no target. I was a bit surprised though that he was that close, so and turned south. Of course, secondary fire is also not so helpful. But yeah, 1000 points, we win the game. Easy. Yeah, that's my preview about the Friesland. I think it could become potentially a really good destroyer, but right now I'd rate it like above average, nothing else. I mean, there are games where you can do a lot, and then there are games where you can't do much. Because you're maybe alone on the flank and nobody's spotting for you, then you're like obsolete. So that's kind of problematic. But you can also have these games if the enemy is forced to push and so on. Then of course that's where this ship shines. Yeah, 2300 base XP. I mean, I was top tier, so that's pretty okay, I would say. And yeah, AP, I didn't use AP too much. I think I have to test it a bit further when we get it for further testing the next time. And I don't think that Wargaming will release it at this state. At least it would surprise me. But mainly I shoot HE shells. Of course, your focus are battleships and destroyers. I mean, if you can make use out of your hydroacoustic, then you are also dangerous to destroyers if you play it smart. But your concealment is hindering you. Every smart destroyer player will just bail hours before you even see him. So, but of course there are some less careful destroyer player that you will pick up for sure. But as soon as it gets or as soon as you are matched against a smart opponent, this thing will suffer for sure. He will outspot you. He will outspot you. You are forced to retreat, use your smokes, getting shot at by the enemy team, and he doesn't even need to shoot you. That's the strength of concealment. So he just outspots me by so much, or most of the destroyers will outspot me by such a margin that yeah, it's getting really uncomfortable, and you will have a hard time to contest even caps. I mean, of course, you can go in, smoke in, hydro, but then there's always the danger of radar. You don't know where the enemy destroyer is. I mean, even with hydro, you can get torped. So, yeah, I don't like this. I would like to see Wargaming making this to a destroyer hunter. Lowering the concealment, use the yeah, maybe different smokes and give it more of it, and then I think the ship should be fine. And for all readjustments, if it's statistically overperforming, then something can still be nerfed. But yeah, that's it from here. Sorry that I didn't show my recommended build and so on this time, but yeah, the ship got removed and I only had time today to finish this preview. So yeah, next time then, or when I do a review about the ship. All right, yeah. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.